Hey everybody, welcome to lessonswithtroy.com. I'm Troy Brenningmeyer. Well, in this week's lesson, I'm calling it Concepts for Country Backup. And the way that I'm approaching it is a little bit different than my normal lessons. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this video that I recently posted on YouTube of me backing up my friend and fellow band member Ben Smith. But anyways, I get a lot of requests for me to show some examples of backup playing. I thought this would be a good way to do it because really on this one there wasn't a lot of rehearsal. He kind of came over and we played through the tune a couple times and I kind of winged it with some backup playing. So what I wanted to do was just to go through this and to show you just kind of what I was thinking and how I approached each little lick that I played and kind of what scale I was playing out of or what kind of idea to make up a lick I was thinking of. And hopefully it'll help you. So let's just start off by listening to it just for a little bit, and then I'll kind of explain some things.
All alone for a happy hour or two, late afternoon. Corner bar, I'm not a stranger anymore.
Okay. So we'll get through the whole tune. I'll kind of go through each little part. But let's start off with this intro. And I must say, too, just kind of right off the top here, I'm not tabbing any of this out. This is more about not playing the exact licks that I'm playing. It's more about the concept and where around the fingerboard and around the neck that I'm kind of getting these licks out of that I think will help you even more than me just tabbing each lick exactly and you thinking that you have to play that lick exactly the way, I did, because I was just kind of winging it, and I think you can do the same thing if you understand your fretboard and the key and the scales and that kind of thing. So first off, the song's in the key of C, and let's first, and this is what I did when I was going through the song, was I tried to get the chord progression. So for all you guitar players out there, as you can tell, he starts off in an A minor chord. Okay. Then goes to a C chord. A minor. G, C. Back to the G chord. So let's watch this again. A minor to C. A minor, G, C, back to G or the 5 chord. Okay, so that first little part, that right there, he's playing an A minor chord. So what I was thinking was, let me slide up to a note, and we both kind of worked up this intro. Actually, I think he hummed this intro to me, something that he wanted, and I figured it out, but it sounded something like this. Okay, so what I was thinking there was sliding up to that E, okay, and I was thinking A, C, E, E is the 5th of my A minor chord, so I knew that note would work. Okay, and then I'm just kind of going off these notes right out of the C scale, and I'll be doing this kind of all over the neck, playing out of that C major scale. Okay, and I ended on that note, G. And I was thinking, okay, well, that's the 5th of my C chord. So that should sound nice. And that would be one thing that you could do, is just really get that C major scale down, or for whatever tune you're playing, get that the major scale in open position. That would be my C major scale. But for whatever tune you're wanting to play backup in, I'd say get that major scale under your fingers in open position and also kind of across the neck. Okay, so let's keep going here. Okay, then right there, as I play that open 3rd string, and I just kind of slide over that C chord. I'm kind of playing a G roll, actually, and those notes totally work, because G, 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 D, it makes it sound more like a C add 9 chord. doing a G roll, because there isn't you're not playing the B note of that roll. It's more or less just G's and D's. Has a cool sound when you substitute that over that C chord. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, and this was something that he just hummed to me. Kind of that melody there. And as you can notice, look at his hand there, and also use your ear. He's playing, for all you guitar players, he's playing back to that A minor chord right there. So I'm just starting on an E note. That's the fifth of my A minor chord, to a G note. And then I flatten my bar out back to an A note. And I know that works because all those notes are, first of all, they're all in the key of C. And I'm also, my target notes, right? The notes that I'm kind of landing on the strong beats, those are right out of my A minor chord. Okay, let's keep going. And then that's still right out of that A minor chord. Okay, and I'm my target note there, and this is something that's real important, is having target notes that are right out of the chord that you're going to. So I'm kind of leading up to the notes of the chords that he's playing, as opposed to waiting for him to play the chord and then I play something. I lead up to that chord that he's playing. All out of that A minor chord. Okay, and then check that out. So I lead into that C note right there, the root of the chord. He's playing a C chord right there, as you can tell. And then he goes to a G chord. So my target note there was that note. And so what I'm thinking in my head or feeling or whatever is I'm feeling those strong beats. Let's rewind this. And I'm thinking just target notes. I know that he's going to that G chord. So that note and getting there is just staying right within that C chord, C major scale. Really not getting out of that. So as I'm playing this, I'm kind of seeing those notes out of my C major scale, and I'm seeing notes, understanding the chord progression and understanding what chords he's going to or getting ready to play. And I basically find target notes that work with that chord that he's playing. So I'm not just, randomly playing all this. I definitely knew what chords he was playing, what notes are out of those chords, and how I'm going to get to those notes more or less on the strong beat, beat one or so. But when he changes chords, falling to notes within that chord. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay. So then he starts in with the verse. Let's just listen to this verse for just a second.
All alone
C,
for a happy hour or two,
A minor,
late afternoon.
F,
Corner
C,
bar, I'm not a stranger
F,
anymore.
G. Okay, let's listen to that again.
Alone for a happy hour. All alone for a happy hour or two, late afternoon. Corner bar, I'm not a stranger anymore.
Okay, let's just stop right there. So now a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now is as he's playing the chords and singing, I'm trying to not play while he's singing for the most part, or if I do, it's really just letting the chord ring out, and I'm not doing a lot of intricate stuff while he's singing. I want to fill in the space in between when he's taking breaks from singing. Now, here's some cool things I really wanted to make sure to show you in this. When you're playing country music or things like that, instead of doing real fast hammer-ons and pull-offs, something that's really cool to do are these intervals of a sixth or a third. And I do a lot of intervals of a sixth in this tune. Now, that would be like on your fifth to third string. So as he's playing that C chord, I'm just thinking, just play a cool interval of a sixth, and that'll sound real nice. Just slide into that and let that ring out. Okay, now the way that I think of this is a real simple way. I'm thinking I'm playing 2 strings with a string in between, and that really works on my middle 4 strings. So from 5th string to 3rd string, or 4th string to 2nd string. And I just think that's an interval of a sixth. Now it's, if you want to get exact, some of those are major sixths, some of them are minor sixths, but just in my mind, I think the shape of a sixth. And that would be in position there if you wanted to do stuff like that. Now you can do all kinds of different licks using 6, like a yodel lick. Okay, you could do slants, and instead of staying in position or in your root position here, right? That's my C chord. You can do these forward slants where, say, you're slanting on your 5th and 3rd string, 6th fret and 7th fret, and then just move that up in half steps, and then you're right up to your 4 chord, 5 chord. Oop. But those, when you're playing country music, that's a really cool thing that you can do. It sounds a lot like lap steel playing.